every minute with the fever dreams. I push the mind to a limit where it needs to feed. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your lossy. I got my mind.
Hey guys, here at the range, gonna go over some setups here with the plate carriers in front of me. I know there's a lot of questions concerning of how should you set up your plate carrier, what are the things I need on my plate carrier. As a guy who carries this gear every day, 12 hours a day, I'm gonna go over what I have learned over my years of being in this profession and using this stuff. So I'm gonna give you my insight. This is not an end-all be-all. This is not hey, you should do it this way every single time. This is just my input and what I have learned over the years to be effective and carry my gear efficiently. All right, this is an LBT. I think it's a 60 something or other. I'm not sure what the nomenclature is on it. It's not really important. This is a swimmer cut carrier. Still one of my favorites. This is one of my first successful setups. I say successful because it's the first setup I used that I was actually extremely happy with. Didn't want to move anything around, and over the years I continue to use it, and it serves me very, very well. Going to get into how I have this set up and why. Starting in front, I have a flag here. This is not IR. IR is under night vision. This thing blooms. As more and more people get night vision, you're going to want to move away from IR indicators and ID patches, flag patches on your arm. Stuff that is IR is going to very easily give your position away and the position of your team away. I would recommend that everybody in your team kind of move away from IR patches. This is kind of like a just a regular black background. This is a Gerber safety cutter. Not exactly sure what this is called nomenclature wise. This is used for many things. In the past I've used it to cut zip ties. If you have a casualty, you can use this to zipper their clothing, or if you're doing searches of individuals, you can just literally cut right down the back of their shirt or the front of their shirt, depending on what you're doing, and open them up that way. I have a
Kydex insert. I think it's called a kangaroo Kydex insert. Fits in there, wraps around the magazines, works pretty effectively.
For example, here, just slides in there and holds your mags pretty securely. I played around with this thing back in the day. This thing is a couple years old. It's nothing new. I think it was made by Green Mountain Rangers. Those guys, I enjoy watching them and their airsoft channel, their milsim. Pretty cool stuff they do. They make some pretty cool gear. Some of their gear is really high priced. This is fairly reasonable for what you get, and it holds your mags in there pretty securely, and they come out. I have an insert like this that I use on my chest rig for work, and I love it. I kind of moved over to switching it over to everything that I use, but it works for me. The front of it, I'm going to run pretty slick. I don't want to have too much stuff in the front. This doesn't get in the way. I don't have issues with this snagging on anything, but I don't want to have additional things here. 2 pistol pouches here. I use these for flashlights or multi-tools. Kind of gets things out of the way and easier to get to. I have an extra pouch here that I can throw a flash grenades, or if I need to plus up on ammo, I can throw ammunition in there. Radio pouches internal. I can throw radios, anything from a Brick 152 to Balfangs to Motorola's, whatever I need. These do have inserts for side plates. Moving around to this side, there's that pistol pouch here. I have a frag pouch, important to get to quickly, so I have it up front here. This area I have pretty slick, and that's because the magazine that I have on my side sits right in here when I go to lean around corners or do any kind of dynamic movements. So I want that magazine to kind of free float in here without interfering with anything else. I have another flashbang pouch here. Very nice, easy to get into, and it's silent. That wouldn't be for me, that'd be for a team member. Tourniquet. All right, here's one quick thing. You guys putting the time strap on your tourniquet like this, you're wrong. Quit doing it. Your time strap isn't meant to sit like this. I see a lot of cops, I see a lot of military guys running with your tourniquet like this, even guys in my line of work. Stop doing this. This is bad. If you need to get to this windlass, now you gotta undo this, secure it, and now get to your windlass. Save yourself some precious time and secure your time strap there. I like to leave about a 1/4 inch of material on the inside of it so I can real quickly get to it and then secure the time strap. I have it attached to the side of this HSGI. I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, this IFAC here from HSGI. Rubber bands. I wouldn't recommend using rubber bands on everything in a quick pinch. They come in handy. And then you have your EMT shears here you can get to pretty quick. I do like this IFAC. I think it could be better, but for what it is, it's actually pretty nice. Tubular nylon, if you know what it is, you know what it is. I don't need to get into it. I have it secured here with some shock cord. I buy this shock cord in bulk. I get it by like 500 feet because I use everything. I use shock cord for everything, so I can rig things up the way I need. And these barrel locks, buy those in bulk too. Always modifying my equipment, so I like to get things that, little things like this, that instead of robbing from another piece of kit, I can just dig into my inventory and get the bulked items out that I need. And I have it secured here with a carabiner. This is for a charge. I can also use breaching tools in here. Something that's center line, kind of keeps it balanced. And then extra mags, extra flashbangs, extra smokes, depending on what is needed for the time, for the mission, you can throw in here. And then I have another pouch here for, again, flashbang, smokes, mags. Everything you'll notice on my stuff has a multi-purpose, and I like it that way because I don't want to have something on here that doesn't work for the time being and then I got to remove it. LBT hydration pouch, nice for taking some bolt cutters, throwing them in there to secure them. Throw in a bladder in there. Also multi-purpose. That about does it for this. Like I said, this is one way to set it up, not an end-all be-all. This works for me. What's going to work for you is going to be different. So figure out what's going to work for you and go with that. All right, moving on to the Ferro Concepts FCPC. Yes, I got this in multicam black because it's mega based and I can use it for work. I have 4 magazines set up here. That's one thing I didn't mention on the LBT, where I have the radio pouches internal. I can also use those to store mags. So moving to the front, no, I don't have one of those fancy Kydex inserts. Ferro Concepts makes a pretty good mag pouch with their Kydex inserts. I believe these are from Haley Strategic. They lock in really well, and they retain the magazines fairly well. If you can see, I was pulling on that pretty hard. Yeah, they click into place, they lock in, and I like that very, very much. And then on the side here, I have their, I think it's called the Wingman. They hold a mag very nicely. Radio, like a Belfang, sure. A Motorola, yes. Prick 152. Mags, I found that I gotta put a loop here of 550 cord to kind of help open that up when it's against my body to slide in a mag. Here I have a little Fastex buckle. That's for work. That has no other purpose outside of work, and I'm not going to get into what we use this for. Those are the guys that I work with that are watching this. You know what this is for, and yeah, put a thumbs up because you know how awesome and why it's there. All right, right side. I punch with my right hand. It's my strong hand. That is secured in there with a Ferro Concepts little Kydex knife retainer. Cool. I would recommend them, or you can save some money and just throw Velcro on the side of it. This side I keep completely slick for now. Also on this side I have the Peltor PTT. I like this. It's very tactile. I can feel it with gloves even in the wintertime. And then a lens cleaner here. Very, very useful. I use this almost all the time. And it's right up in the area where you can just get up here and clean things instead of reaching down low. If you like reaching down low, do you, boo-boo? I don't. Again, repurposing things. Took some shock cord, and this is a S&S Precision mag puller, but it helps me get in here so I can move the hydration tube or whatever else I'm running on my shoulders that day. All right, up in this little GP pouch, I have the axle upgrade, the zipper upgrade. This thing is phenomenal. I love this thing. Would not get another FCPC without this upgrade. Makes getting in this pouch very nice, very smooth, very quietly. Depending on what you keep in here, you might want to get into this. And if you're doing some kind of reconnaissance or admin work and you don't want to rip open Velcro just to get into your note-taking gear or your whatever, yeah, definitely look into this upgrade. I always run my zippers all the way to the left, so I know exactly how to open it in the dark. And then on this zipper pull, I keep a little light, little pen light, red of course, so I can get in here and do my notes. I work a night shift, so everything I do is in the dark. So I need to have a way to use my gear and not be holding a big flashlight while doing so. The front here I have a little hydration hose. Run this off the side and just tuck it behind my mags. Alright, off to the side I have an old pistol mag pouch from 511 when they used to make awesome gear. And here I keep a multi-tool that I have rolled up and dummy corded. Dummy cord your multi-tools, guys. You're gonna lose them. Flashlight here with a red lens. If I don't want the red lens, I can easily pop that open and use white light. Always have red lens on things, and if you can see, it's kind of rubbed off, but I had this marked so I know when this is off. So when I go to turn this on, nothing happens until you screw this all the way down, and then you'll get your light source. That way you don't have an ND in your pouch. I've seen it happen too many times. It's super annoying when it's dudes on your teams. Even on force, you know, guys will ND, they'll push their holster or their chest rig or their plate carrier or something against a wall into another person, or they go to lay prone and next thing you know they're blasting light. That's not good. Extra flash bangs here. This is going to be for team members. Can I reach this one? Yes. This one, no. Is that a flexibility issue? Yeah, sure, probably. But this is not really meant for me. This is meant for the guy behind me to access. Quick note, when I took my kid out for a nice little run, I noticed that my bicep was rubbing right on this pouch. This is a good reason why you need to get out and use your gear, right? Because this was rubbing, not when I walked, not when I jogged, when I ran. I had to move it over. This was one spot over. Now it's in this position it is because it doesn't rub on anything. Again, you'll notice this side here is nice and open for my belt, for my mag on my belt to free float in here. On the back here, it's nothing special, just a hydration pouch. This is again from Ferro Concepts. When I got this, they weren't offering the Velcro panel on the back. Now they are. Good for them. I don't have one, so I got this mainly because I wanted to be able to run water, breaching tool, and have some ID on the back. Now if you look closely here, I upgraded this from the zippers. I cut them off and put some 550 cord here. I noticed that when I ran, the zippers were jingling, and they were jingle jangling, so now I have 550 cord there. It's nice and silent. And then in the back here, I have set up the Darcy drag strap. This will unclip and go right into my belt. Also have their roll one. I'm not going to get into the contents of this. I loathe this thing. This is not something I would recommend entirely, but it is good for having some med on you. I would definitely plus up more on meds instead of having that as a standalone. So yeah, that is a quick rundown of my plate carriers and how I have them set up. All right, so what do we pick up from this video? You need ammunition. You need a way to carry ammunition effectively. You need a way to get to it, and get to it in a way that is going to be quick, yet it's not going to fall out as you start moving dynamically. Do you need a knife? No, you don't need this. This is more utility. Use this to cut things open or to defend myself if needed. Comms, do you need comms? No, depending on what you're doing, you don't need comms. A lot of guys don't even have radios, but what I do for work, I need a way to carry a radio. You might need to carry a radio, or if you're in your groups, if you guys have comms, then running radios is a good way to do it. Utility pouches, good to have. I say you need a light source and you need a tool on your equipment, whether that be in a chest rig, plate carrier. You need to have a tool, you need to have a light source. I would say that's all the tools you need. If you need a cutting tool, great. I have one in my multi-tool. Admin pockets. This has a built-in admin pocket, so I don't need to add one to this kit, but a way to carry your notes, pens, whatever your mission essentials are, or whatever you need on shift for duty. Those can go right in your general purpose pouch, and I would say that is a must-have depending on what your role is and what you're doing. Medical. Yes, absolutely have medical. Even if it's something like this, it's better than having absolutely nothing. Remember I talked about having your tourniquets. Set your tourniquets up correctly. Don't have them set up to where you look like a complete idiot and you can spot those idiots from a mile away. Last thing, a way to stop bullets, right? Having plates. Good plate. I don't subscribe to the having level 4s all the time. Do I have them? Sure. But I don't use them in everything or everything that I'm doing. I have level 3 pluses in these, in both these carriers. I want to be mobile. I'm not going to be standing in the open to get hit with a 30-06 armor piercing round. Not sure what you're going to be doing to where you need to be stopping 30-06 armor piercing rounds, especially if this is your close quarter kit. I'm not sure what guy's going to have a freaking belt-fed 30-06 armor piercing round in that structure, and if he does, that should be some intel you should have. And again, you're not going in there by yourself. Your team is going to have tools to stop that threat. Save money on your level 4 plates, okay? Don't spend the money getting level 4 plates because you think, oh, I'm going to be going up against a guy with a friggin' BAR. Get something that's going to be mobile, that's going to be lighter weight, and spin wisely, guys. Don't fall into the trends. I know a lot of guys are very big on these level 4 plates, and you know, it's like if you don't have level 4 plates, then you're not cool. But I would rather be effective in my mission and not be cool, but be effective. I can wear this for 12 hours and not, you know, be ready to take it off. You know, you should be able to wear your kit and be comfortable in your kit for the duration of what you're doing without having to, you know, be wanting to take it off as quick as possible. And if that is you and you want to take your stuff off as quick as possible and you can't wait to take your stuff off, maybe you should evaluate how you're running your gear.